Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So here we are again once more, and yeah, there's so very much to be done here. I'm going to turn down the actual preferences here. I think what it is possibly... Now, initially we didn't have the actual main volume on, at least on this new one here. I think that was why we weren't actually seeing combat sound. Possibly. Though things are louder, definitely now. Hello there, SpongeGar. How you doing, my man? So there, Kosa, how you doing? I'd imagine you are having some fun with the amount of snow in Europe at the moment. Okay. So we do have a number of decisions to make in this episode. Well, this stream, I suppose we could call it. There's a lot to be done here. So very much. I mean, of course, we do have to decide on how we are going to approach the Fiji situation. I mean, I've spent pretty much today, well, yesterday and today, really thinking about this situation, obviously since the end of the last stream. We do have much to consider here. And I've been fairly busy today. I had some time before the stream, played a big Kenshi, and then here we are. But the thing is, how do we approach this? Because we know that he has been looking over Canton Island. Hello there, Bensky. Hello there, Hadar Carlson. Now, Carlson, I did see a comment from you earlier. I have no idea what the Brave browser is, so you wouldn't have to explain that one. Hello there, Carl Banzai. Sorry for my cringy username. I made the account in middle school and never changed it. Still ahead there, SpongeGar. Yeah. How you doing there, Bensky? Yeah, things are definitely heating up. We do have a potential Battle of the Coral Sea scenario here. Now, of course, we are not aware of where the American carriers are, or where the British carrier is. We are aware that THG is obviously scouting Canton Island. We've seen multiple flyovers here. So we do have to summarize that he does know. I mean, we did have a little bit of a chat over Discord, a few messages exchanged. He says, oh, I think I can see your invasion force en route for San Diego. I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, I mean, I don't believe it, but I probably expect it. Alright, cheers, man. That's fantastic. I'll have a look at that later on, then. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, obviously he was taking the mic there. But then I said to him, oh well, I've got my AA at Canton Island. The only reason they haven't shot is because they're unpacking. Honestly, just trying to bullshit him a little bit there, just to try and make him think, maybe there is something in Canton Island, because, yeah. We do have these little things in between episodes, like, well, let's exchange a little bit of information, taunt each other a little bit. It's really quite amusing, to be honest. Now, what I have to consider here is the fact that, obviously, we do have very little information out in this region here. What I'm considering is potentially... Well, we are observing by the Santa Cruz Islands, though what I'm thinking here is potentially we have the H6K4 squadron over here, the Toku KUT1 squadron, actually run reconnaissance over this area. The reason for that is, well, we do have the G3s currently running basically running naval attack over here, but we don't have any information in this area. It would help to cover Canton Island, while Canton Island could actually cover Samoa. Of course, we are just outside the range of Fiji, but I think it might be for the best. I think it would make for the best of both worlds. So we'll have a look at this then. So we'll take our squadron here. Now, we do also have the Yokohama squadron. Well, there's only 2 of them. Of course, they are out of action for the time being. 2 and 3 days. So we definitely do need them. I mean, while they're here, I might as well have them on training, naturally. The pilots are actually fairly experienced, which is quite encouraging. But while they're here for the time being, we'll have them search. What I'm thinking here is we actually turn the search parameters at Tanawan around and have it over this way. Your biplane arrived. Is that like a model biplane, or what are we talking here? Okay, of course that is rather narrow, so we'll expand that. Right, okay. So we wouldn't actually be able to cover Canton Island, which is a shame. We're just outside of that range. Now, could I transfer them? I can't. Now, of course, I could transfer these patrol craft over here, but they wouldn't be able to do anything. We could transfer to Canton Island itself, potentially with the G3s, but the issue is, well, I think we could do that. The issue is, yeah, remember to scout forward. I mean, this is it. It is all going to be a series of information gathering here for some time. Welcome to the Black Star, by the way. I think you should move the search arc further east so it is centered on CG? Is that super? My car had to drive home making a rubbish joke. I'm a little bit confused. Once those squads upgrade from biplanes to Jakes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'd be able to have them all over. Now, we aren't going to be able to really cover this area to a terrific degree here. Yeah. Aye, that would be for the best. Ah, Savvy. Well, Savvy is going to be actually covered. Yeah, we'll have that under our umbrella over here. I want to cover this area, really, because sadly, it doesn't actually cover Canton Island. I was hoping it would cover Canton and potentially a little bit further out this way. Now, currently, I can't move this squadron, but I think this might be for the best, considering that there is a very real threat of potential American reinforcements, and frankly, we don't have a bloody clue where they may come from. We don't have a single clue about that. And that does leave me quite worried. Now what I'm going to do is actually move it a little bit further to the north. Okay, a little bit further to the south then. So 7130. Well, 8130 then, yeah, that'll do. So we do have all day coverage over this area here. Can I expand that a little bit more? I could to some degree. It does make me wonder though, is that the right decision? Because of course I do have, I suppose at the end of the day, I do have forces out over here. So at least we do have our potential for some kind of discovery. Hello there, Justin, how you doing, my man? Yeah, the issue is it's just a very hard decision. I mean, that's a good point, isn't it, as well, actually, that Carl makes there. Perhaps we should center it around Savvy. Well, yeah, it's potentially a very good idea, as we can tell that there's, well, as far as we're aware, I don't think there's anything covered in, via Elise Islands. So I think we could try that one, then. It's a shame I can't divide the squadron, as I would have half looking this way, potentially half looking that way. So we'll drop this by about, what, 30 degrees and see how that looks. Okay. So that does cover this area. I mean, I am somewhat wondering, would I be better off having the Canton Island turn entirely this way? To obviously look beyond Palmyra. That may be for the best. I think it's a very hard decision we have to make here. I think, yeah. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to look towards the American coastline. We do not know if reinforcements are coming. I don't know where carriers are. We do have to go in the worst case scenario as discussed really on Discord. And the fact is, well, because we don't know where the carriers are, we can't discount the carriers. Now, he knows where my carriers are, roughly. I don't know if he knows exactly where they are right now, but I don't know where his carriers are at all. It's been a couple days now. Well, it's been about, what, 2 weeks, give or take, something in that region. Now, we did have a trace of him somewhere around this area. Now, we went south. He might have potentially gone north. I'm going to go ahead and go with the conclusion, or at least the prediction that he did go in fact north. The reason for that is we did do a very comprehensive reconnaissance in this area. We've had no trace since. We've not seen anything of carriers to suggest that. So I do wonder if he's actually gone north and then headed back to the US. We do currently have heavy radio transmissions originating from San Diego. Now, if he's gone to San Diego... Now, this is a theory of mine. He might have turned back, headed to America, headed to San Diego, where he could have linked up with the Saratoga. So we could potentially be facing, what is it, Yorktown? Now, is it Lexington, Yorktown, and Saratoga, or is it Lexington, Enterprise, and Saratoga? I forget the bloody name of the American carriers. Now, in some ways, that does make things a little bit easier, because then he may not have the Hermes, the light carrier Hermes, the British carrier. So we might then be facing only 3 fleet carriers rather than 3 fleet carriers and a light carrier. Of course, that doesn't make things much better, but the maximum amount of carrier potential he can bring to bear against us is 3 fleet carriers and 1 light carrier. I'm going to go ahead with the assumption that we are to face everything here. I think if we are to go with that assumption and play with that assumption, that probably would be for the best. I think, I'm very much hoping that he doesn't recognize a threat. I'm very much hoping for that. And I know that's a foolhardy. Yeah. Can you do scenario on the speed of the carrier arrival from various points? I mean, that is what we're going to have to really take into consideration here. Right, okay, so let's see then. Lexington, Yorktown, Hornet, Enterprise, and Saratoga. I don't think he has all of those yet, but he has 3 of them. As in, like, range from Pearl or California, so the general time period. Well, let's say then, if he was to head from San Diego... Yeah, it might have had additional planes placed on board, though. That's the thing we've got to worry about. So if he was to head from San Diego, that's 136 hexes. So... I suppose the way to work this out is he will roughly be making the same speed as Kidabutai. So let's take a look at that. Kidabutai over here. If Kidabutai was to head at full speed... Yeah, so assuming that he would be also making full speed. Now, our maximum speed here is only 28 knots. The carriers of the Americans won't be much off of that. So if we were to go with that assumption, I think I have a waypoint here, so cancel that waypoint. We just need to head directly south. I don't think his actual subs will have float planes, I'm not entirely sure though. I think I may have to just bank on speed at this time being. So let's go with the assumption that his carriers are going to go full speed from San Diego. So Kidabutai, which is of similar speed, is going to make 1, well, then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes, give or take. So if we go with that assumption, and of course that is at full speed, he might not actually be able to do that. He may very well be able to do that, but it would obviously burn a lot of fuel. So we'll go with 6 hexes per day, roughly. I might even go with, like, something more against 8 hexes a day, just to cover that eventuality or possibility. Do you have any AVs with the float planes in the invasion force? We do have some float planes, sorry, we do have some aircraft tenders that will be following up sometime behind. That won't be far behind them. Right, so we'll go with the assumption that 6 hexes is their top speed, at least at first. And we'll work out how many days we could roughly have from San Diego. So if we did 136 hexes divided by 6, that would give us about 22 days. Which, yeah, I mean that sounds nice, but that's obviously assuming that they are coming from San Diego. And that is assuming that they are only making 6 hexes. We'll go with the assumption that he might actually be traveling faster than that and making 8 hexes per day. That would mean he would be here in 17 days, so just over 2 weeks, from San Diego. If we go with the assumption that he's potentially heading from Pearl Harbor, give or take that sort of region, he could be at Suva. Yeah, it's about half a distance, give or take. So we'll go with that then. So let's say that he's heading from Pearl Harbor at roughly 6 hexes per day. He could be here in 12.5 days. If we go with the assumption that he's traveling from Pearl Harbor at 8 hexes per day, Yeah, he could be here in just over 9 days. Now, obviously, that doesn't actually take into any consideration the fact that he may very well be here in this area already. I mean, that's the worrying part. He may very well be in this area. And I just don't know. Now, we have detected heavy amounts of radioactivity over by San Diego. Yeah, and that has been a consistent thing now for, like, what, the last 2 turns? This heavy activity. We do thankfully have submarines out here. So if he is travelling from this end, we might be able to have a chance of, detecting him or attacking him. How many days does Kidabutai need to travel to survive? Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Full speed. I think we are going to have to go full speed just because I don't think we have much of a choice otherwise. What I'm going to do in the fuel situation, of course, as Kidabutai is a little bit low on fuel, is now currently we do have the oiler Ondo. Yeah, now is this... Where's Ondo? So Ondo is fueling up over here. She has currently 540 units of fuel. Now, of course, she is going to increase that amount steadily. So I'm just going to name this Ondo. Okay. Now, she's going to begin to load that fuel. Hello there, Paul. How you doing, my man? We also do have a Toho Maru. Now, the Toho Maru is going to be heading south. Toho Maru. I'm going to look around and actually see if I can find any oilers nearby as well, sorry. But the Toho Maru is heading a little bit further south to the island of Julu. Well, Julu, I don't know how you pronounce that. But she's going to head down south there. There's 2,629 units of fuel there. We do have fuel at Canton Island potentially as well, so that might be something that we could stop by. There's only 421 units of fuel there, but it still might be enough just to... Well, it's definitely better than nothing, isn't it? Now, the sources of fuel I'm more than likely going to have to use alongside these oilers, unless I can find anything else, is going to be like potentially support ships, potentially AMC, stuff like that. Ships with very high endurance. Now, for example, I do have the destroyer tender over here, Shintoko Maru with 10,200 endurance. I do have the auxiliary repair ship Akashi. Now, she is capable of decent speeds, and she does have, rather decent speed. Endurance. I do also have this tanker here. Now, she does have a good amount of fuel. And she could be very easily converted into a oiler. Of course, I would have to send her to a minimum shipyard size of 15, so she couldn't be, like, converted here. Of course, that would take some time as well. I honestly don't think that your convoy line subs are going to be effective. I feel like you should just blockade Hawaii and the US coast with them. Well, we have something of a mix. We do have forces over Hawaii, but the thing is, well, he's going to get wise to this. He's already wise to these submarines around here, so he's going to actually respond to that. We have seen detections over here, which is interesting because it looks as though he might actually use another shipping lane. This one, I think, may take some time to prove itself, but I think it could be the most balanced approach. Yeah, some of the worst are some Pearl. I'm actually going to go with a scenario that is even more scary than Pearl. So, worst case scenario currently is that they may be possibly making 8 hexes per day from Pearl Harbor, give or take, which would mean they would be here in about 9 days. I think what I'm going to do is actually plan for American carriers to arrive in 4 to 5 days. And the reason I'm going to do that is, frankly, if I have things in place within that time frame, if his carriers actually then arrive another 4 days later or even another week later, then we have everything in place. But we need to make sure things arrive. We need to make sure we can plan a timetable in that time. Now, we need to figure out how long it's going to take Kidabutai to arrive if we make full speed directly to Suva. We're not going to head directly to Suva, so we could probably go with... let's take a look over here at Suva. So if I actually figured out a distance, a range, that would be a good idea. So we have Suva over here. Now, that would be 8 hexes. that would be 9 hexes. So that would be at the extent of the range of the torpedo bombers. The extent of the range of the dive bombers would be 7 hexes. Now obviously that would be their maximum range. But we'll go with reaching hex 132153. Well, that's it. We did have a potential carrier report at Pearl Harbor, which we never did see any more information about, so she could have very well slipped into Pearl Harbor undetected. And of course, she could actually be somewhere else in this area, assuming it was a carrier. Right, so that's 135. Actually, I need to just put that down as a actual patrol, and then that'll make it far easier to see. Right, patrol. Said boundary 135152. Is that right? Whoops. Done that button. Over here. Here we go. Right then. So that would be 8 hexes out. So that's about... Yeah, okay, so we need a little bit further there. Okay. Also, after Suva maybe split up that big stack of troops, yeah, definitely. I'd like to use them to take other objectives like Noumea. Just definitely, there's a lot of targets in this area. If he was gonna use his carriers, it would have been to protect Midway, near a nearby airfield and port, not near bumfuck nowhere. Yeah, we are going to cause damage to our ship systems and engines, but I think it's one of these cases of where it may be potentially worth it. I don't know if I will head down here entirely on full speed. I think we might bridge some of the distance with full speed, potentially down to the Marsh Islands. But the idea here is, well, let's see then. So if I was to take Kiributai's current position, which is over here, how far away from Tarawa are they? So they're 34 hexes from Tarawa. So let's figure out our rough estimate of time of arrival then on full speed. So 34 hexes divided by 6 here. We would be here in about 5.6 days, so potentially 5-6 days then, give or take. Yeah, and that is absolutely right. Fiji is absolutely critical for the Allies here. Yeah. So we can assume that we'll be at Tarawa then if we were to move at full speed. I mean, this is a direct course, I do believe. Yes, this is a direct course. We would be there in just over a week. So the thing is, it's going to take us a week to arrive at Tarawa. Now, Tarawa is the same distance away from Suva. So we'll work that one out then. So 5.6. And 5.3. So we can assume that we could, at full speed, so under full steam, be in Fiji in 10 days. Now, how long is it going to take the landing force to arrive? If we work that one out, that gives a good indication of how fast we should or can move. Now, of course, we do have slower ships in here. Yeah, if Fiji is lost, then Kiributai can be dedicated to perimeter defense. Well, dedicated to perimeter defense, I'd imagine. Yeah. Okay, so, let's go. It looks as though we might be able to make... Is that 2 hexes? I don't know if that's accurate. Let's see, if I made full speed... 3 hexes. Right. So we'll go with the assumption that mission speed is 2 hexes per day, full speed is 3 hexes per day. And that is 32. So divided by 2 we'd be there in 16 days, divided by 3 would be there in 10 days. Okay. Now, the good news is then, that actually does work out well then. So if we do run Kiributai at full speed, they will actually line up roughly with the Fiji landings. Now, we do have a Guam cover force, which isn't much further behind, is it, at all? Now, of course, they are lacking, to some degree, in fuel. The thing is, we do have these destroyers over here. It may be a good idea to leave some of these destroyers behind that obviously have the reduced amount of endurance to actually potentially escort. Yeah, see, they don't have any ASW. it may be worthwhile to leave potentially one of these destroyers behind, potentially two of these destroyers behind to actually escort a oiler, potentially. Also, once you take Fiji, you are essentially establishing a net of air cover that your subs control in, and we all know how effective that was in the Atlantic. Yeah, definitely. And when Singapore falls and Fiji, it allows basically everything except for the Aussie land to fall. Should we starve of supplies? Well, this is it. This is why it's so very important. I mean, this is why we have to absolutely assume that carriers are on the way. It's a scenario that I didn't want to have to entertain, but it's one that is the real reality here. Now, the logistical headache that's going to come from this is going to be rather interesting, as we do need fuel. We need fuel in this area, ASAP. We do have the capability for en route refuelment. Well, refuel, which can be done. Mushy mushy. Hello there, Major. How you doing, my man? So, Major, we've just done a rough estimation of distances here. Hello there, Iconoclast. So, we've done a rough estimation of distance here. So, we've estimated that from San Diego to Suva at potentially 8 hexes per day, which is probably an overestimation of their speed. If he was to head from San Diego with carriers, he could be potentially here at Fiji in about, what was it, about 21 weeks? 21 weeks, I fucking wish, 21 days, give or take. It was something in that region. Though we are going to go with the assumption that he's actually going to be pushing out from Pearl Harbor, where he could be here in about 9 days, give or take, and that would be heading at 8 hexes per day. Of course, that would be 2 hexes faster than Kidabutai, but Kidabutai has suffered a little bit of damage. Which, then again, we actually do have slower ships in Kidabutai at the moment. Does Fiji have some oil and fuel production, or is it just supply production? Well, the interesting thing is, we do have supply production potentially over here at Noumea. Fiji does produce resources, but we do not have any industry on the island. I don't know if we would be able to build up local industry of that nature there, but the thing is, we could potentially take resources to Noumea, where they also produce resources, to actually build up some supply, potentially. Of course, that would require supply to actually fix it. Okay. Right. There's also this solid possibility that his CVs are in Australia. Well, that's an absolute truth as well. That's something we've not yet taken a look at. Now, where could we potentially see him head out from? I mean, I assumed, well, I've been going with San Diego and Pearl Harbor. San Diego due to the heavy volume of radio transmissions. Pearl Harbor because we did have potential carrier spotted some time ago. But we'll go ahead with this one as well. Now, Melbourne. Yeah, plan for the closest option, hope for the furthest. That's a good idea. So Melbourne is 55 hexes away. We'll assume that she could be coming from Sydney. Now, Sydney is a pod that we do not have any information about, as we don't have anybody nearby. It does have a large port that could definitely handle carriers. The thing is, if he was to be based in Australia, it's like, well, how many carriers could he have? We are going to still assume, we'll assume that we may be facing 3 fleet carriers and 1 light carrier. Yeah, so Sydney would definitely be the closest at 45, which is obviously closer than Pearl Harbor and all other bases. So we'll go with that assumption then, which is probably a good idea. Also, that dive bomb was spotted by a submarine, yeah. I mean, that could have been potentially from Hawaii, could have been potentially from a carrier. Who knows there, really. Right, so that's 45 hexes away. So if we go with the current speed of Kidabutai, which is about 6 knots per, well, 6 hexes per day at full speed, he would be able to make it from Sydney to Suva in about 7.5 days. So I'd imagine that would be about 8 days total, obviously, with how the game works. So we'll say 7.5 days, just so obviously we can work that out. That is the information there. Whether that translates to 7 days, well, on the 7th day he arrives, on the 8th day he arrives. Have absolutely zero faith in Japanese signal intelligence to get such terrible data out of it. And now his carriers are somewhere near Hawaii. I'm seriously concerned about sighting near Pearl. They managed to slip in. Potentially so. We don't have any float planes over that way either, do we? Right. So I'm going to go with the overestimation potentially of Allied speed in that he could make 8 hexes per day. He could be at Suva in about 5.6 days. Now, that's probably an overestimation of his capabilities. Which makes me wonder, can we increase our own speed here at Kidabutai? Do we have anything that we could potentially detach that could increase the speed at which the actual carriers move? Now let's take a look over here. The slowest ship in the actual force of Kidobutai here is Kaga. What I'm potentially thinking here, I'm just going to set this up just so we can actually see what it looks like. So let's sort by speed here. Okay. Now, of course, this scenario is rather risky. And it would see our carrier strength somewhat hard for the time being. But what I'd like to see here is if I was to travel at absolute top speed, which would be 34 hexes. Sorry, 34 knots. What could we see here? Right, yeah, so you can see that distance is actually significantly higher here. Apparently YouTube thinks you're playing Neo Scavenger. Is it? Oh god, it's because I've actually still got it listed as Neo Scavenger. Okay, sorry about that, I'll just actually change that. Whoops. The weird thing is, yeah, we don't actually have an option for One Pacific on YouTube, so it's annoying. But good spot there, I forgot to change that. So I'm just going to put get a Grigsby Pacific War then. Okay, bring the game back up. Okay, so... damn it, I need to actually move the chat down. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Of course, that is like an absolute... yeah. It's an interesting scenario to take a look at. Because, of course, if I was to travel here at 34 knots, we'd obviously make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexes per day, potentially even a 9th if that would allow us to actually make it here, which would obviously really decrease our time. So there, Alfonso. When in the operations area, start running 50% combat air patrol, 50% rest. Yeah, that'd probably be a very good idea. But yeah, as stated, it is rather insane to split Kidobutai, as of course we'd lose fuel, we'd lose aircraft, we'd lose a lot of things. It's not worth it. Hello there, Lupus. How you doing, my man? The issue is, of course, that our ships are now started to suffer damage. The two light cruisers over here, I think... no, actually, there's a light cruiser. Abukuma. She does have a little bit of engine damage. But they will be worked. They have to be worked. Okay. Right. So we'll go with the assumption that we make it 6 hexes per day. How many turns of mission speed instead of full? Right, we'll take a look at that. I mean, this is it. Moving at full speed would obviously burn a significant amount of fuel. Have I, like, somehow... right, okay, that's strange. I'm a little bit confused there. Right. Have I turned the wrong setting off here? Change the base with Kidobutai to truck. That'd be a good idea. Right, okay. Well, what I'm going to do is actually just reload the save. So we'll just reload that save there. Yeah, I was a little bit confused about that. Right, so load back up and it'll take a moment. Of course, we didn't make any changes. Whoops. But that's good to know about the sea refueling. Didn't realise that actually did reduce the actual range. So that's very good to know, actually, because we did that with the other forces as well. So that's very good to know. Okay. Right, so we'll go back over here then. So if we were to head down to, obviously, Suva. Well, actually, not directly to Suva. We don't need to make it directly to Suva. Remove the actual... yeah, that's gone. Ah, thank you there, Portland. That's nice, man. Just saying hi to all. I watch your recordings most of the time. Very interesting stuff. Ah, thank you very much, man. Right, so if we make it here at mission speed. Now it's shown me only 3 hexes here at the moment. I do wonder if that's because obviously we might have potentially refueled before this. Then again, that could make sense. But I think our range is usually higher. It may be because before the save we would have possibly underwent some refueling at sea, so we'll just go with the current assumption here then. So that's like 3 hexes per day then. So we'll figure that one out then. Obviously I'll have them head to Suva. Which should be 22 days. Though I think that number will increase. I think the reason I'm so very much worried about this area is I do want to be here first. How does it know? Cruise speed would take us down to 15 knots at maximum. Well, 14 knots max. Is that what it tells you? Right, mission speed. So 5 or 10. Oh, right, okay, that's interesting to know then. Ah. That's true. I mean, when I say that I want to be in the area first, I mean I want to be near the area, I suppose. I do not actually want to engage him first, I want to actually have information about him first. Mission is probably better. Well, there's not much of a difference there. Yeah. Okay, we'll make it down at mission speed then. The thing is, Carl, how we'd run our zeros is going to be principally protecting the carriers. The thing is, we will have more bomber aircraft than he can bring to bear here. So, we do have that advantage. We also do have the advantage of longer ranged aircraft, which is obviously very helpful. Our pilots are generally better. Or generally better. Okay, so we'll make then... I think you would have some F4Fs, I believe they're called, but not many. Right. What I may do then is that I could potentially head for Canton, but that would be a little bit too close. So what I'm going to do is actually... I'm going to head for, let's say... Well, we'll head initially for Tarawa then. Honestly, to link with the forces. If you detect first, you can sink the entire US task force, ideally in one swoop. That'd be amazing. Right, so we'll head here for Tarawa. So our fuel would actually last to Tarawa. We'll make mission speed then. I like it. Okay. So I do have these ships over here. Of course, these ones are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. But I do have myself, then, additional 3 light cruisers. What I could do, then, is actually detach the light cruisers. Or at least 2 of the light cruisers. The ones without the damage, ideally. Yes. Tatsuta and Yubari. Yep, okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to attach Tatsuta and Yubari. So transfer Tatsuta and Yubari. Okay, you do not have to make full speed here. Right, so that would give us additional fuel to actually use within Kitaputa itself. As well as additional forces here to aid us. How many fighters, torpedo bombers, and dive bombers does Kitaputa have left? Well, we have, let's see here. Now, we currently have 80 fighters in total. We did take massive losses from the attack on Pearl, and that was due to the flak, which was incredible. So it's a shame there, we lost quite a lot of aircraft. More than I'd ever want to lose again. And, yeah. Never, ever hit the airfields with the zeros, is something I learned there. But if we take a look, so we have, what, 77 fighters ready. We have 129 dive bombers. We have 143 torpedo bombers. So in total we have 367 aircraft with 359 of them ready. Yeah. Buffaloes won't outrun the continent either. Now, we do have potential actually. I do have A5M4s. They're carrier capable, they're not carrier trained. The pilots are not too bad actually. Ah, see you later there, Major. Have a good one, my man. Yes. So, the A5M4s over here aren't exactly the best aircraft ever. But I think I might have them actually transferred on board the carriers. The reason for that is, hell, it might be nice just to have some additional. Yeah, 143 torpedo bombers, that's overkill if they strike the enemy. I mean, that's obviously not even counting the dive bombers. This is it, we... I mean, this is it. We do have the range advantage. We'll try and take a look at what we'll be facing up against then. So if I go over here then to aircraft database, we'll take a look at the allied aircraft. So I think it will have... Right, that's New Zealand, sold by nation. Let's find American. Right, USA. Yeah, that's what I'm definitely thinking here. We might as well actually transfer them on because we do have the actual space. I think it would actually help us to some degree. They're not bloody fantastic fighters, but if they only have to take down bombers, that would mean less potential threat to Kitaputa. And it's just additional forces, isn't it? Okay. SBD3, F2A, and TB. Right. So the SB3 then, SBD3. F2A. Right, the F2A... The F2A 2 or 3, I suppose there's not... Well, actually, there's a fair amount of difference here. Actually, no, not terribly. The F2A3 has higher cruise speed. The 2 has awful cruise speed. Similar top speeds, but yeah, it seems there's some improvement here. Now the SPD. So I have the SPD2, but it's the 3 that would be facing. So let's take a look there. Right. So we can see here the Dauntless. Their range then. So normal radius is 8. Sorry, no, normal radius is 7. Their extended radius is 8. We do have the advantage then against them. They do have a fucking fantastic bomb load. I mean, a 1,000-pound bomb is huge. At reduced range, which is basically their maximum range. Basically on extended range. They'd only carry a 500-pound general purpose bomb. Their maneuverability is only 13. Durability is 31. They do have armor, however. They do have some defenses, so they could be an interesting aircraft to go up against, but I think that terrible maneuverability, I think that armor would enslave them against Zeros. Right. So we have the TBD-1 over here. Yeah. Right, now that's actually rather nice then. So the actual Devastators here have significantly less range. So their normal range here is about 4 hexes. Their extended range is about 5 hexes. So that does actually help us out significantly. That's actually really good information there. So we know to absolutely avoid being within 5 hexes. But that's actually really close range for our own aircraft. I mean, the range of the B5N2 Kate is 9 hexes. The range of the Valves is 7 hexes. So with the torpedo bombers, that gives us a 4 hex range advantage. With the Valves, that's a 2 hex range advantage. I mean, it's absolutely nothing compared to the range of the A6M20 on extended, but they would be there to protect the carriers. I don't think I'd send much to actually escort bombers. I'd probably send a squadron or 2, but I think I'd be principally concerned with protecting my own carriers. Though, I think it really depends on the situation. Yeah, the TBDs are the shittest torpedo bombers in the game. Biplanes are superior to this. I love it. Okay. So, do we have any idea what sort of Buffalo we'd be facing then? But yeah, so they have 22-inch Mark 13 torpedo or the 500-pound general purpose bombs. Hello there, Raghar. How you doing, my friend? Yes, what we're doing at the moment is we are really just going over the ins and outs of the potential clash in, well, in the Fiji area. Right. I think he may have potentially F2Fs as well, so that's something that we do have to take into consideration. Obviously not the F6F, because fuck me, he doesn't get them yet, thankfully. I think it's the F4 F3A, or the F4 F3. I cannot remember which one it is. I'm going to assume it's the F4 F3. Right, so Wildcat. Assuming it is this one. So that is available, yeah. So it could potentially be the Wildcat. I think he may have only a very slight number of these. So if we take a look then, their range here is at maximum 7 hexes. Maneuverability is 22, armor's 1. Gun value is pretty good, obviously, the 50 cal Brownings. But it maneuvers like a bloody bus. Altitude is 37,000 feet. Maneuverability is, yeah, 22, 22, 18. If we take a look at the SBDs and the actual, well, actually, let's take a look at the Buffaloes. So if I assume it's the F2A free Buffalo, so that's 2117. Did we? You killed the one starting squadron by landing at Canton. Huh, interesting. Do explain on that one. They actually have a high service rating as well at 3, so actually, if we damage them, they're not going to be repaired very quickly either. Very interesting. Right. What the hell's the SBDs? Right, here we go. SPD 3. Right, so we don't actually get a maneuver banned, so I think this is basically, obviously, their bombers, aren't they? Now, what can I find out about the actual carriers? Allied ships. Type. Okay. Lexington. So if we take a Lexington then, her speed is 33 knots. Okay. So she'll make similar speed to us actually. Actually, yeah, I can't remember what we did hit at Canton, so that would be something I'd have to really go back and find out for that. But let's see here then. So the Lexington here. Capacity is 90 planes, of course. F2A frees, also some F4 F3s, F4 F3As, SPD2s, and SPD3s. Also some SPD, so SB2U frees. But yeah, it's a lot of numbers there. Okay. So I'd imagine the SPD2s and 3s are very similar in range. We'll take a look at the other F2s, and well, the F4s actually. Right, so the F2A frees, okay, as we assumed, F4 F3s. So we have the 3A and the 3. Now the 3A, well the 3A has a much lower cruise speed. That's pretty cool. Interesting. Okay, so what we'll do then. SB2U free range is 8, okay. So that's respectable range. It's actually better than our vowels. So what we want to, well, really what we want to do then is operate at torpedo bomber range. At the end of the day, that would put us out of the range of most of his aircraft. In fact, all of his aircraft, unless he moves closer to us. So that's what we want to play with. So let's figure out a way then of getting fuel. We'll allow this to go on then, so the landings will proceed. The Guam cover force will proceed as well. Obviously escorting the force there. What do I have here then to use? I do have myself 1, 2, 3, 4 submarines over here. Potentially this one over here if it could actually refuel. Are you going to refuel? You do have some system damage, so I'll actually dock you. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, assuming he doesn't have forces coming out that way. But the thing is, if he has landing forces heading to Canton, I mean, this is obviously a hypothetical scenario. Well, would he do that? He might do it. I think it'd be a very brave move. Yeah, consolidate. So I think at absolute best it is going to be a week before really anybody could be there. And that's at absolute best with carriers. Now, we could be there sooner due to the fact that we are closer, give or take. But that would require burning a lot of fuel. So, if we assume that he's coming from Sydney or Pearl, we do have roughly the same sort of time frame. But we already do have forces in the area. And should our landed forces obviously secure the island of Savai, that does give us the actual reconnaissance there that we need. So we might be able to obviously garner better information, really figure out what's going on down there. But we do have additional submarines open to us, so we are going to actually have them made available. Yeah, he has been aggressive, that's true. So, it does lead me to think then, is it potentially wise then to send a submarine to Canton? I'm going to go with yes, just as something of a matter of insurance. What I mean by that is basically, if he does actually land down here, we do have a submarine that could interdict him. It also does give us some security for our float planes here. So we'll have one submarine actually work that area. Okay. Right, you're in there to repair. Okay. Now, what I'll do then is actually have some submarines set out to, I'd say, patrol around Savai. Yeah, we've done some rather aggressive things so far. I'd love to know if he knows that the force taking Savai will be the force that took Canton. Blockade the port of San Diego. Well, we do have submarines out there. The thing is, I can't really get too close to San Diego due to the fact that he will have a lot of ships there. He will have air power there, probably. So we'll have a somewhat distant blockade. I mean, that's why we have our submarines over here. They're covering the potential sea lanes. As the game goes on, of course, we'll be able to figure out more about his sea lanes. Now, what I may do then is... I think this is it. If we do flood the area with submarines as well... It definitely does give us a reasonable ace, really, I suppose. It's just useful assets in the area that do have endurance, that are relatively unknown to the enemy, unless he's actually running detection. So I-25 has been spotted, I-15 has been spotted, I-17 has been somewhat spotted, so he is running ASW, or at least some kind of search in this local area, which does intrigue me. So what we may want to do is actually pull out a little bit further, potentially. Yeah, for this operation you need to take care of the real lines, that's definitely to come. I mean, this is it, if we were to have float planes at each of these islands, give or take, it would make things significantly easier. But as you're saying there, take islands behind our line, so behind the front line, which would then be Fiji. That would be fantastic. Obviously, it would deny him plenty of bases. It would give us potentially coast watches as well to be used, which would be very nice. Now, the forces I did have heading towards Sydney are actually being diverted towards this area. Now, we do have submarines out this way that we could divert to Sydney instead. These guys have been diverted. Also a lot of small fry ASW capabilities available to the allied player there. Yeah. You're heading to refuel, it seems. Right. What I'm going to do then is... I mean, it would take a couple days. What I'll do then is I'll actually move my submarine over here. I'm going to have you actually patrol outside of Sydney. So let's take a look at the actual sea over here. So deep ocean, right up close, that's nice. You will need to ship Air Force bases. Yep. Yes, we do. We'll watch as many as we can, but there is, of course, a limit. We'll do our goddamn best, anyway. But I can move a submarine just off the coast there. We do have a search plane as well, which is fantastic. Ship a good 4 to 5 air bases and air engineers forward. Now, we do have 2 base forces over here at Guam and Saipan that can be moved. We also do have engineers over here that could be moved as well. Now, I did bug it up over here. We weren't able to actually bloody load them. Try one more time. Yeah, it's just not going to let me do it. So we'll have to start them loading next turn. Yeah, they're moving there to Saipan. So we do have potentially 2 base forces that we could move to the area as well, which would obviously give us a significant amount of, well, support there. We do also have engineers over here. Could put them to some really good use as well, to be honest. We also do have SNLF. Yes, you're heading to Takao. You're heading to resupply the island here. There is 21,000 tons of supply there, but I think it would be worth it to potentially have more. Or do I have them head to truck? I could have them head to truck and obviously build up supply there, but I think... Well, this is it. We might actually have them. Yes. Okay. What I'm going to do then, with this actual convoy over here... Not this one. This one. Now, I'm going to cancel their mission. I'm going to have them instead diverted to truck. The reason I'm going to have them diverted to truck is... well, let's turn this off. Yeah, there we go. The reason I'm going to have them diverted to truck is because at the end of the day, it will mean that we do have thousands of tons of supply that we could potentially move anywhere. At short notice, really. If you take the Air Force bases from there, your planes will not repair, so you need to ship Air Force bases from Japan. Yeah, you're right. So that would cost me 59 political points to change. We could do that. Now these planes are going to be moved out from Guam. So I don't mind that. They'll be moved to truck anyway. So I don't mind taking the actual base forces from Guam and Saipan at the moment. They're fairly strong as well. And the Marianas ideally will be protected. Unless things go wrong. Okay. So I'm going to do here, I'm just going to have a drink of coffee and then we'll carry on. Okay. So what do we have here then? Of course we are sending cargo. Yeah, I'd imagine. Okay, so this is what we're sending as well. So we do have 2 AVs here and a destroyer tender, as well as these patrol boats. Would I actually have a truck? So I do have a lot of things that truck, actually. And what is the important airfield size of truck? It is currently size 6 and size 5. I can expand the port, which could be a good idea, actually. What do we think to expanding the size of the port, then, actually? We have 300 defensive mines there as well. Now, I do have the 8th Tank Regiment, which is actually a very strong force. We do also have artillery, 15cm guns there, so 150mm howitzers, actually a pretty strong force. Yeah, okay, we'll build it up to size 7 then. It's going to take some time. It shouldn't take too terribly long due to the fact that we do have our forces here in abundance of support. So we'll begin to build that up then. I mean, it would be nice, obviously, as we'd be able to rearm most ships, if not all. Okay. Now, I do have some cargo ships over here with some decent speed and decent cargo capacity. I think what we'll do then is I may load up the armoured regiment, potentially, and the engineers. Though it does make me wonder, is that worthwhile? Possibly not. I mean, they would be more useful elsewhere. We'll see how we feel about that one, I guess. Though, I think what I'm going to do is actually... Let's see. I'm looking at endurance here. With a size 7 port and 250 naval support, you can rearm Yamato. Well, that's fantastic, man. You're already in a task force. Ah, we do have an AMC over here. Right. Yep, and you definitely can carry a good amount of, well, a fair complement of troops as well. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the AMC, Osaka Maroon. She's going to actually head down and link up with the actual task forces. Though, I'm going to tell her to link up with Kidabutai. So she's going to go out there and meet Kidabutai. Yeah. I mean, that's it. They are able to get... They're basically like an armed troop transport, aren't they? What I have in mind for the Osaka Maroon is using her as a source of fuel at the moment, as well as additional armed support. What do we have over here then? Not as much. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now the good news is, and this is something that is actually exceptionally useful, is the fact that we do have actual destroyers over here. The fact that we actually do have warships already in the area is something we've not spoken on. But that is actually an extremely useful card in our hand here. Because at the end of the day, we do have two very competent surface raiders. Very fast, very dangerous, carrying incredibly dangerous long-lance torpedoes. These bad boys in a night attack could sink battleships with these bad boys. I mean, they can do extraordinary amounts of damage in a very short space of time. So we do have something here that is very capable. And the fact that it's already operating here does actually really increase my chances significantly. The reason for that is it does actually provide us some support at Savai. Should an enemy force come in here to potentially bombard, we do have the capabilities to actually run interference or potentially attack the actual forces there. So he has to actually consider the fact he can't just roll up and bombard. He has to deal with surface forces as well. Which is honestly amazing for us. We also do have a patrol boat with Nagata Maru. Of course, they had low ammunition, but the thing is, well, you don't. But the destroyers have torpedoes. Yamato is extremely powerful if using the intended role incorrectly. Yeah, I can't fucking wait to have Yamato. I mean, her guns would be ferocious. I mean, this is the thing. I think I'd use Yamato in conjunction with carriers, to be honest. Because that is where they do best. In a BB versus BB battle, it dominates. God, I can imagine. Good lord. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at those stats. I can't freaking wait now. Righto. Right. So we do have Yamato. So we first see her, of course, in 1942. So Yamato, the fine son of a bitch that she is, her endurance is pretty awful. It's not terribly bad, I suppose. 22 maneuverability, durability is 233, belt armor is 405mm of, obviously, steel. We do have 212mm on deck, which is very nice. 493mm of tower armor. 7 float planes. So we do have the fearsome guns, the 4 to 6 centimeter guns, the 460mm guns, the biggest guns in the world. And she has 9 of them. Just insane. I mean, the turrets have 640mm of armor. Not a huge amount of munitions here, but not that she needs it. The effect 3219, penetration 818. Oh god, yeah, I can imagine. is the AA vote. Obviously, we'd like to increase that. But this is it. It's a perfect damage soak. And, of course, should something try to intercept the carriers, or just try to intercept anything, really, in a surface battle, then the Yamato would definitely lay down some incredibly heavy fire. And we'll get 2 super heavy battleships. And I do want them to survive, and I think if we do use them in conjunction with Kidiwutai, that'd be insane. Mostly gets torpedoed by a submarine attack by aircraft. Yeah, exactly. Hello there, Trotsky. I actually bought this game 6 years ago and never played it. Just recently reinstalled and updated the open beta, same version as you. Question, why does your map look different than mine? Okay, so first of all, all you need to do is head over to my Discord. You will find a link to that in the description. And if you head down to the Warner Pacific channel there in my Discord, in the pinned, you will see a list of map mods and just associated mods for Warner Pacific. The one I'm using here at the moment is the pure map mod. But yeah, it definitely makes the game look significantly better. Yeah, no, that fuel consumption is pretty rough, isn't it? Okay, so we've worked out how we're going to fuel the forces. We do have additional submarines moving down to the area, which is good news. We have a tanker here currently unloading fuel. Now, what interests me is the fact that how much fuel do we have here at the moment? So I have 18,000 units of fuel here. Hello there, Deadmosh. Hey XRG, I'm now getting into the Grigsby games and loving them, but one of the Pacific Admirals Edition seems to be an entirely different beast since there's no other Pacific games out there. I am looking for some shorter tutorials. Yeah, well, what I'd say is invest in Grigsby's one of the Pacific Admirals Edition, because at the end of the day, you're going to find a game that is... there's nothing else like it. But the thing is, you are more than welcome to ask a question on absolutely anything. How do I make new task forces? Okay, we'll do that one. I'll show you that one just in a moment. So let's say we'll go over to Tokyo then. So if I go to Tokyo, and let's say we take a look at the actual base here at Tokyo, we can see ships anchored at Tokyo. So if I was to go over here and form new task force, we have our different types of task forces. Of course, different ships can only belong to certain task forces, well, task force types. But let's say I wanted to make an amphibious task force. I could tell them to remain on station or retirement allowed. I could tell them to have a commander automatically selected, on or off, full refueling, default, and then we click next, and then we go here, and all the ships that can actually be part of an amphibious task force will show up. And there we go, we have a new task force. Task Force 302, then we'll disband that. There we go. Yeah, the standard map is a bit rough. It's very dated at this point, but these maps are amazing. Okay. So what do you guys think then? Do we have our forces over here run a deliberate attack, or do we run a shock attack? What are we facing here? That's the question. I still don't even have that information. We don't have a combat report to even base our findings on. I guess I'm going to go with a deliberate attack just in the... rare circumstances may... well, rare... fucking hell, I can't talk today. Under the rare circumstance that he may have reinforced survive. So we'll go with deliberate. This game seems tedious and requires way too much micromanagement. Can the convoys or other tasks be automated? The convoys can be, yeah, sure. It's like we do have an automatic convoy system over here. I've never used it, to be honest, which is why I'm not using it at the moment. I'll look at how to potentially use it in the future. But you can definitely use that. It's like at the moment I do have 313 ships that could be put into this, but I've just never bloody used to it. Never used it, really. I do like doing things myself to a degree. Okay. Yeah, definitely join the Discord. You'll find a lot of support there, and just feel free to ask questions. There's absolutely no reason not to ask questions. Okay, so we do have the Yokohama KU-2 squadron over here, which is very good because I forgot about that one. Well, I didn't forget about them, I didn't consider them. I'm thinking maybe we use them because that would actually fix a lot of our issues down the south. How far can we go here? We could make it to Canton Island. Okay. Yes, that'd work out perfectly. Okay, we're going to fly you to Canton Island It's going to be rough, but we'll move them next turn, should new bases become available. I could move them to Tarawa. But... Is it a Slytherin one there? Ah, right, okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to post a link to the actual Discord, so 2 seconds. Yep, and you're right there. Blackstar, I do have to check my R&D factories. Okay. So I'll just make a invite here. Right. Copy. There we go. Yep, you're absolutely correct that we do not have any aviation support at Canton. The reason I'm thinking Canton is so that we'd move on to Survive, but even at Survive wouldn't have any aviation support. The reason I'm thinking Canton is because obviously it would then allow us to look further out towards the US. But I suppose I could actually accomplish that at Tarawa to a certain degree. We'll have them move to Tarawa, and then we could move them from there, but at least at Tarawa they would obviously have some support. Oh god, you should have seen my desktop some time ago. My desktop is actually the best it's ever looked right now. And I really am not joking about that one. It is the best it's looked for a long time. There's going to be people in the chat that will say, yeah, my desktop was a shithole. And it is a shithole. But it's not as bad as it used to be. Right, rebase to Tarawa. There we go. Yeah, 3 of them. Fantastic. We do have a little bit of fatigue, but I'm going to keep them running here for the moment. Don't want to be looking at Wake here. Right. So if I take a look over here then. So currently we have this set up as it was before. Now what I could do is actually have them actually cover this area. And that'd work out really quite nicely. They'd not be able to cover much, but it would be nice to actually cover this area to some degree. I don't know if it is from Shogun 2. I mean, if it is from Shogun 2, that's cool. I honestly didn't know that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is it. You've got to really commit yourself to, like, yep, I'm not going to ruin my desktop. To be honest, I could do with actually buying a new SSD. Like, mine is just completely full, and I don't know how I'm going to actually empty it. I can just reset that, set on map. I get to there, then we'll move it on. That doesn't quite look right. Right, okay, you're set up. Ah, that makes sense. Oh, right, I've accidentally messed with the settings over here. Okay. Right, there we go. So if we take a look at that one. Now, I could have that, yeah, down here further. I'd like it about 10 degrees further up this way, just so we have some actual overlap. There we go. Yep, I think that's perfect. So if we take a look at that, that's actually helped solve our issues. I could have them cover a little bit further. Another 20 degrees, potentially. Okay. Though, it might be better to actually cover this area. Yeah, I'm going to cover this area. Bloody wrong one. I hate when it does that. Yes, we'll cover this area here. I think that's probably for the best, as it will... if he heads down here from Hawaii, he may be more likely to pass here. At the end of the day, I can't reach Canton with my search plane, so why bother? Just cover this area over here. At least then it will protect, or at least give us some information on approaches from this angle over here. We do have some coverage. I mean, things are actually looking fairly reasonable. I mean, at the end of the day, we've not had this much coverage over Midway, so to have some advance warning... We've got far, far more information about Fiji so far than we ever had about Midway. So that is working to our advantage. I mean, Midway was closest to Pearl Harbor, his major base in this area. Of course, Fiji is in between like Australia and Hawaii, but it's not particularly close to either. It's not far, but it's not close either. We do have our aircraft tenders. They are on the way. So as soon as we can get them there, they'll be put to heavy use. Now, I do potentially see a tanker over here. So what we'll do then is, let's see. I do have you here. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and head directly. Let's see, where are you moving? Northeast, interesting. We'll try and put some torpedoes into her. Okay. Right, then tell them to linger over here. Have them head out at full speed. Actually, set the furthest one out here, just in case. Right, lovely. So we may have a chance actually to hit this tanker then, which would be nice. We did see another ship here then, didn't we? But that has since moved. I think something to consider then is our patrol patterns here around Pearl Harbor. What I'm actually going to do then is... Right, fucking hell, this is a midget submarine. How are you still alive? Okay, what we're going to do here then is we are going to deploy our submarines in such a way as to ideally intercept anything leaving Pearl Harbor. Because if he's going to actually come over from Pearl Harbor, he's obviously going to have to leave, isn't he? So if I can actually try to intercept, that would be quite nice. Hello there, Cola. How you doing, my man? Of course, it's always a good idea to move our patrols around every now and then. Yeah, if we take a look at that, we'll cover this area in greater detail then. Okay. Could you just kamikaze that midget sub into Pearl? The thing is, just ran out of actual endurance, so... I feel bad for the crew. I genuinely feel bad for the crew there. Coffee and Banzai to start my day. That's pretty awesome, man. And you get to experience me when I'm bloody talking shit sometimes. I think the issue is my mouth is a little bit dry at the moment, so I'm getting, like, really, I don't know. It's, like, hard to say, like, stuck in my words. I'm terrible for it. But more so now than usual. Okay. I think this is the right move here. Actually, start that about here. Right, there we go. So what we are doing here is moving our submarines around Pearl Harbor. We're moving more submarines to this side of Pearl Harbor as well, just in the anticipation that he may actually send additional forces from Pearl Harbor. I think we do have a solid card out here. The fact is, we do have submarines. We have submarines currently in good number here, in the Fiji operational area. We do have submarines up, well, submarines moving into Australia, but we do currently have one near Brisbane and Sydney, moving towards Sydney. We do have submarines covering the American approach. We do have further submarines moving in here. This is actually going to work out fairly well for us. The American submarines are over here in great numbers. They, of course, are going to chase Kitabutai, but we will be able to outrun them. But they will not be far behind. I think we're making the best use of the forces that we really have at the moment. Okay, let's head over here then. So you're actually not carrying any aircraft. You are, however. So I can actually take these Jakes and actually deploy them somewhere, which would be fantastic. There we go. 80 and 20. 80, 20. Yeah, there we go. Well, this does make me wonder. I could actually have them potentially upgraded. I'll have them run out for now because I do need more float planes. But I could actually unload them onto a random island just to give it 6 range reconnaissance, which would be very nice. Now I mean, these submarine tenders are fantastic, and the fact that they do have some very, very good endurance. So I'm going to use them, actually. Well, do I? We could do. They do have good speed as well. I'm going to take the Rio de Janeiro. So we also do have the repair ship over here as well, which would be very nice. But I believe that one's too important. I think that should remain here, as it does give some, well, repair potential. But I'll have the other submarine tender moved out. I could start to load up supplies somewhere. That's a lot of endurance I could make use of. So I'm going to have you move to Tarawa. Yeah. It's just a risk though, because they are very valuable. We do of course need supply. Like, she's not loaded, her tender's not loaded, but I could fly in supply here to Tarawa, potentially. Or send a ship to, obviously fill up Tarawa. Indeed. Okay. So I think that's the most I can do in this area here. Though what I'm going to do then is we'll go over here to Kitabutai. So we're going to reinforce Kitabutai now by an additional 2 light cruisers and 3 destroyers. Yeah, there we go. They're going to continue to head home. We do have our ships over here in Midway. Obviously just taking the island, which is good news for us. Well, I mean, the repair ship needs to be docked for it to do anything. Okay, they're going to move. Right, what I'm going to do then is actually set up our zeros. So I'm going to have them run 50-50 combat air patrol. So all A620s, I'm just gonna change the altitudes then. We'll run 50-50. Well, yeah, I'm gonna run it 50-50 until we reach Tarawa. And then we'll reduce levels. Well, we'll reduce levels as we near the Marshall Islands. But for the moment in time, I'm going to keep... Yeah, until we get to the Marshall Islands, I'll keep it 50-50. Then we'll obviously have some time for them to rest. The reason I'm going to keep it high is because, well, we don't know if there's anything coming to Kitabutai. He knows Kitabutai is here, so he might be coming to Kitabutai. So we do need to obviously acknowledge that threat. Okay. Reduce you to 19,000. 18. 17 here. I'll keep you at 20. 16,000. 20. Yeah, that'll do nicely. So we do have a range of... Well, actually, no, reduce you down to 15. Actually, we got 16... Right, yes, we do. So down to 15,000. Okay, so we do have a range of altitudes there, which is quite nice. We do have a multi-layered, which is nice, very good. What I'm going to do now then is we're going to set up our ASW. So the Vals here, obviously they're going to cancel their mission, so they're going to be on naval attack. So we can of course actually alter the altitudes now, which is lovely. Well, in fact, I'll have them... I'll have the B5N2 Kates run search. Yeah, we'll have the torpedo bombers run search. What I'm going to do then is with the dive bombers over here. Will they still intercept low-level torpedo bombers? Yeah, they will. Obviously, the ones down at 15,000 feet will find it easier than the ones at 20,000 feet, but the ones at 20,000 feet are there really to dive on enemy aircraft. No, so one at 20k, one at 15k. Okay. The bombers mostly come in at 10 to 9. Right, 15. 20. Okay, that's better now. Right, there we go. Yeah, we'll run the Vals here. I'm going to run them purely ASW so that we can actually make full use of this now. I think that's for the absolute best. We'll have the B5N2 Kates run search, but I think these guys running low-level ASW would have some ideally good success. So what I'm going to do then is actually have them run behind the carriers to a degree. Well, I can actually change each squadron to actually... yeah. Okay, so anti-clockwise, I think that is what we need. Yes, there we go. Well, counterclockwise. So, Karga. Right, what we'll do then is we'll set all the D3A1 valves to the same settings here, and then of course we can adjust it as we need to. Right, actually. Right, that's better. Well, I mean, we'll have plenty here. But we could have the surge planes, but I think... Well, I don't know, we'll decide on that one. Okay, what I'm going to do to actually make this easy then is go over here. Right, set everybody to use these settings then. That's cargo. Is 100 feet what we want then, or do we want to go a little bit higher? Okay, that's good. Okay, I mean, it's a bit freaking irritating, but I might be better off just having it from there, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, okay. We'll give that a go. What do you guys think then? Should we have all squadrons run the same search pattern, or... I think we'll have them all run the same search pattern, because at the end of the day, at least that's more aircraft. They may have less chance per squadron, but there's a lot of squadrons. At least then they can actually work together. Yeah, we'll run it like that. Okay, set all dive bombers. Okay. I could have some... Actually, I'll have some of the other squadrons run it counterclockwise. God, I keep selecting the bloody V5 and 2s. Right, try counterclockwise. Oh, fuck's sake. I just wish I could see the goddamn things here. I don't know why I thought it would run the other way, but I won't. But we'll just do it like that. I think that'll be sufficient anyway, as we'll obviously be moving south. Have a search planes too. We'll consider that. And do you have any ammo ships that you can send to the carriers to resupply bombs or torpedoes or naval guns? Well, this is it. Do we replenish it? Truck. Will you replenish Kitabutai guns strength into action? I mean, this is what we have to consider, really, isn't it? Now, Kitabutai. What I'll do then is we'll just look at this like this way. So if I take the actual carriers, then oh no, let's see. I don't even need to do that, do I? So cancel changes, obviously. Okay, so cargo. We have full complement of torpedoes here. Hiru, full complement. Soru, full complement. Shokaku, full complement. Well, Zuikaku, sorry, full complement. Akagi is the one that has used most of her torpedoes, but she still has 18. We do have some ships that are low on ammunition. But for the most part, we're not bad. We are going to run to Tarawa and then from Tarawa down. I don't think we have the time to run to Truk. Though things could change in the time between. Of course, we will have reconnaissance increase in the area. If we feel we have that time, we may do it. But right now, I'm going to go with the assumption that we do not have that time. So we're going to run straight to Tarawa. I know we spent nearly 2 hours in just this area, but this is just how important this battle is going to be. Because this is about that will definitely decide a lot in the future. Okay. Have you disband here, so once that destroyer arrives, you can actually repair. What I'm going to do then is, I'm going to stop actually unloading fuel here. Which you've already stopped, which is good. You're instead going to move down. Yeah, supply level at Tarawa is only 1,000. What I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to move. If a level 1 airfield at 20k, you can get plane replacements. That's true. I don't think I could get 20k there. I could potentially do... let's see. 5,000... We do have more fuel coming in here. 11,000 roughly, maybe about 12,000. I could potentially move 12,000. We do have additional supply coming in to trucks, so I could take that. We'll consider it. And we do have 6,000 over here actually. So not far off. And then additional supply. I really did send way too many convoys, but I suppose that's not going to work out too badly. No wonder bloody Tokyo is lacking in supply, but at least we'll actually have use of them. Now, I do have the heavy cruiser Haguro, the seaplane carrier Chitos. We have an oiler here as well. Very interesting. Okay, what we're going to do here then. Suppose we could call it... Well, actually no, it's a surface compound. Okay. We might be able to get them there. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and link up with Kidabutai. If I can. In fact, no, head for Tarawa. Right, head for Tarawa. Yeah, we do have 2,000 units of fuel over here that I could use. If I move at full speed... Also, that's going to burn a lot of fuel, and not really worthwhile. But we'll burn at mission speed. I'll have these little buggers actually run ASW, I think. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Not a huge amount of fuel, but it's definitely more than we have. That would definitely help out. Okay, so that's going to head to Tarawa as well. Right, that's fantastic news. So with that, we'd actually increase the amount of float planes that we could actually bring into play, which is really quite nice. Okay, so I think we've spent enough time here. Unless anybody has suggestions for what we could do in the area, I don't think there's much more. At least we are covering Survive, we are covering over here. You know what actually I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have this one steer further towards the Santa Cruz Island. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Possibly. Well, I mean, we can have the Guam cover force and obviously the invasion force remain at Tarawa. We could have Kiributai head to Kawalegin, or how the fuck you pronounce it. In which case they could burn at full speed. And refuel there. Though that is wasting fuel, but it would mean they would be there. As that is only 29 hexes away. Yes, we definitely have the fuel here. Right, okay, that's what we're going to do then. I think we'll run... Yeah, that's right behind us. I think we'll run here full speed. So what I'll do is I'll tell them to make full speed as well, just so they can actually keep up. We'll burn full speed here. We're going to burn retros. We're going to go full speed to, well, Kawalegin, how the hell it's pronounced. We'll make full speed here. We'll be able to fully refuel here. And then, well, burn to Tarawa. I may be able to make some light repairs as well, possibly. Whatever could be done in a day, maybe. Yes, possibly so. Possibly so. We'd be able to put on board better search aircraft as well. That's good. Right, yeah, definitely. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We might be able to rearm as well. We do have a size free port here, maybe. Okay. We won't have a supplies. Well, unfortunately we only have 5k supplies here, but I think that's the best. We do have supplies moving in. They won't arrive in time, but I think that's the best. Stop building forts and airfield. Well, just basically save it up. I mean, the airfield's only like, what? It's non-start anyway. So yeah, we'll stop here then. So supply, yep. Okay, I think that's the best we're going to do here then. So we do have immediate ship supply from nearby ships, yeah. Now in the Marsh Islands. The ships that are carrying supply are already underway there. Yeah, big zeros would definitely be nice. Your current fuel, we have nothing here current supply. I can tell them to make full speed actually. We do have a fuel to spare. Right, we'll make full speed here. Burn. So it's going to cost us fuel, but we can afford that. I do have some additional ships, yep. They're headed to Tarawa. What I'm going to do is actually detach the quick tender. Now, due to your speed, you can obviously be in the area sooner, so I do want to make use of that. What I'm going to do then is going to have you head out for Tarawa at top speed. You have the endurance to burn, actually. You wish me to send them here? Okay, we'll send them to, yeah, potentially so. Full speed. And we could have them run full speed here as well. Yeah, I think we'll do it. We'll do it. We have the fuel here, we have a tanker moving south, we have another one actually moving, which will replenish the fuel. We do already have a couple thousand units of fuel. I think this is the best we can do. I think this is going to be the play that will see everything coming together. I think this is going to work out well. We do have coverage over Santa Cruz, of course. What I want to do as well is we could even rebase the G3s down here to survive in time. Tell those patrol boats that tractor ship supplies to Kawajin. Kawaji. Oh, fucking nice that. You could load supply. Let's look for speed. Okay, load supply. And then we'll head to the island. There we go. Okay, we have a lot of assets in this area that are all going to be moving in tandem. It is honestly going to be quite a complicated affair, and this is why we've spent so long on this. It's just so very complicated. It involves everything in this entire area. This is all built into Fiji at the moment. We should take the island next turn. Definitely. Which does leave us with 2 mine layers over here. Now, I could potentially try to arm them. I don't think I would be able to here. But if I could, it would be nice. No, I don't think we'll have the capabilities to arm them. But the thing is, I could, assuming they survive, assuming these cruiser mine layers survive, we could actually have them based at Suva. So that would mean, well, I mean, we could have one over here to survive, we could have one at Suva. Which would mean we could potentially mine the area, which would be nice. I say the Kiributai should be fully replenished and fueled up in 5 turns. Yeah, potentially so. And as you say, if we can actually get the supply there in time, we could even potentially have replacement zeros, so that'd be a bloody big deal. Replacement bombers as well. So yeah, let's hope for the best. I think that's the best we can do in this area. Right, we spent a long time there, but it is honestly required. Okay, it feels weird to go back here now. All I know is the Pacific. Alright. Yeah, we're not let... Well, I mean the actual... Well, let's take a look. Yeah, those reinforcements would definitely make things significantly easier. And I can tell them to stop unloading, actually, which I will do. I mean, this supply could come in handy. I'll have them just, well, actually, just remain on amphibious for the time being. But just remain in station. Well, on station. Okay, remain here. It wouldn't be a Japanese operation if it wasn't complex. Pretty much. It's pretty much just trying to throw everything into one bloody throw the dice and hope it works. But I think we do have here the makings of something successful. Yeah, Maya. I completely forgot about her. It gets upgrades later which make her a very good, well, AA ship. I mean, this is it. We are running heavy amounts of ASW over here. Actually, let's go back over here for a second. ASW, I'm going to have you run night patrols, actually. No. Never mind. Right, there we go, make sure they don't get too much fatigue. Well, they are the big danger, but the thing is, there's only so much I can do against it. And we're doing what we can right now, to be honest. Have you watched the 30-minute documentary about the Battle of the Coral Sea? I've actually not. Feel free to send it on the Discord, actually. Okay, add another pilot here. Currently sending supply to a low star. So the carriers are going to be heading off alongside the Vanguard. Our forces over here are obviously going to be running Actually, I'll tell them to move coastal. Where do we move our forces over here? I think we'll move them just outside of Patani, actually, again. What I'll do then is actually set them to really hug the coastline. Sending a horde into one bloody battle, that's what I did. I send hordes of Skaven against lizardmen. See, I used to play Imperial Guard in Warhammer 40,000, obviously the tabletop. And fuck me, I never won a game. I've mentioned this a couple times, but the proudest moment I've ever had in my life was actually I'll do it like this. Was actually scoring a wound with a las rifle against a demon prince. That was the best I ever freaking had. Do you know how many sixes I rolled for that? That was an insane amount of sixes. The actual statistical probability of me rolling all those sixes in a row was fucking ridiculous. But, yeah, I then promptly died, but at least I got a wound. Thing is, when you fucking Imperial Guard, you've only got bloody las guns, because your opponent apparently doesn't have the points to allow you to have a Lehman Russ. Apparently a Lehman Russ would be unbalanced. But fuck me, and my, like, what, 5-up save. Yeah, fuck me, that's unbalanced to have a Lehman Russ. Fuck me, they're walking tanks. With fucking, like, bolt guns. Sons of fucking bitches. So that's my rage over. Okay, that's the best we're gonna do. That'll make sure they hook the coast, and they'll be patrolling, so they'll be aware. Please God make it. Please God make it. Ugh. What's the song now? In the Arms of an Angel. Okay. Now, what else can we do over here in Malaya? That's the question. In the arms of an angel. Right. Ah, thank you there, Lupus. I'll definitely look at that later. Okay, so of course we do have the Airbase Lodestar, which is now operational, fantastically so. Yeah, can definitely house additional aircraft here. What I'm going to do then is actually going to go over here then. Set her on full speed. What, the carriers? Or these guys? Okay. I assume you mean the heavy cruisers on full speed. I suppose so. I mean, the thing is, she might take damage here, but the thing is, at least then she may survive. Well, I mean, absolute means she will never retreat from battle. So we want to unload to make sure she does try to retreat from battle. It's better that the flooding gets worse than eating another fish from those bloody subs. Yeah, that's true. Okay. I'll put the carriers on full speed as well, why not? At least then they also do have potential to avoid enemy submarines. Okay, what I'm going to do here then is as well... we're going to increase the combat air patrol in the area. Now what should we do here, ladies and gentlemen? Shall I have long-range combat air patrol over these bases? I could do. What's the difference then between long-range combat air patrol? Actually, I'm going to find my bloody manual. 2 seconds. Here we go. Alright, Ben. So, I'm going to take a look at the old manual here. Let's find it. I just need to know the differences in range. Units okay. Combat Air Patrol, 172. Let's take a look at the differences. Okay. Combat Air Patrol. When enemy aircraft are spotted by those aircraft that are airborne or by radar or ground forces assigned to watch for enemy aircraft, all planes available for Combat Air Patrol are scrambled. Combat Air Patrol aircraft are assigned, but they do not fly, all fly at the same time. They are divided in varying levels of readiness in order to maintain a standing Combat Air Patrol over an assigned target hex. There are 3 levels of Combat Air Patrol. Airborne Combat Air Patrol is the most prepared and can be considered the portion of the group of aircraft assigned to Combat Air Patrol that are currently flying at the assigned altitude. There is no delay in this portion of Combat Air Patrol being in position to intercept. Ground Combat Air Patrol, Available Combat Air Patrol. It's not telling me the difference. What, OPS? Huh? I was trying to find the actual mission differences here. God, this manual's freaking labyrinthian. I've been looking at a new yeah, I've been looking at a new RPG as well. I've seen another pen and paper RPG by the name of Zweihander? Zweihander? Yes, Zweihander. It's like, well, it's basically a Warhammer pen and paper RPG, but obviously it doesn't have a license, so it's very similar. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, the actual manual's like, I think like 500 or 600 pages. I fucking love a manual with loads of pages. I love big manuals. I love big books. And I cannot lie. Otherwise, other brothers cannot deny. Right. You guys really do hear me say the weirdest things. I feel bad for you. Combat Air Patrol is divides when they fly out. If you have 100 planes in Combat Air Patrol. Right, well, what I'm actually wanted to find out here is the distance. Like, for example, if I have them on Combat Air Patrol, like, to what range will they fly out? Will they fly out to their full 14 hex range? Will they fly out to 6, 7, 8? You know what I mean? I just want to know how far we can expect them. I want to know when it's good to use Combat Air Patrol and when it's better to use long-range Combat Air Patrol. That's something I'm not particularly sure on myself at the moment. So that's something we can try and find out here. Right. Hmm. I just need to find this section on missions, actually. I'm sure there's a section on missions. What's the ASL rulebook? That sounds cool. Right, 2 hacks is okay. Is long-range combat patrol basically where they'll move out? Yeah, 2 to 3, but you lose control over where they react to. Okay. Alright, that's fair enough then. I suppose what I could do is actually set long-range combat patrol over Kota Baru. Potentially. Welcome to the stream, by the way, there, Michael. Don't think I've seen you here before. Planes can react, then leave their primary hex partial defended. Okay. I'll run 80-20 combat patrol then, I think. Right, okay. Right, so I also set up combat patrol to 1, then use long-range combat patrol as specified. Right, that'd make a lot of sense. Okay, so what we can do here then is we'll set up then long-range combat patrol over Kota Baru for a few of these squadrons, actually. At least the members of the Tainan. Is it the Tainan we're looking at? Excuse me. Yeah, the Tainan squadron. Kota Baru definitely does seem to be the one that is being targeted most heavily. Now, we may fly our Zeros here at lower altitude. Then again, it doesn't make that much difference. We'll fly them at 15,000 feet. Right, they'll go over Kota Baru, principally. Don't worry about it, man. I'm not sending you all. Feel free to discuss whatever you'd like to discuss. If you don't plan on using those CVLs anytime soon, either send them in Kota Baru or increase their patrol zone. Potentially so. I mean, this is it. We might, well, to be honest with them, actually on long-range combat patrol, I'll move further to the north. I'll move north of Singora, actually. Yeah. We'll move north of Singora. The planes of Zuiho will run combat air patrol, I think. Just standard. At 15,000 feet. Okay, yep. We'll move north then. So about... I'd say... an additional hex north of... yeah, so what I'll do then is... Actually, if I have... well, then again, they're not set to... I just want them to follow that path, so I'm better off actually using waypoints, I'd imagine. That's true, but we are seeing heavy bombing attacks. Well, we're not seeing too particularly heavy, but we are seeing him use his aircraft here to hit Kota Baru. What I wanted to do here is principally destroy the B-17s. The other aircraft I don't need to worry about too much, but I do want to destroy his B-17s that currently come in here. Yeah, do you plan on sending the carrier groups back to carriers or have the land-based ones on the flat tops? Well, I mean, this is a decision that we still have yet to make, actually. It could be one that could actually... well, I mean, let's see here. What do we have that we could send right now? So I do have a squadron, yeah. So Zuho is completely ready now. Ryujo squadron is ready now. So I could have an additional 30 zeros sent into action. They are carrier trained and capable. And currently, the issue is we are lacking. Right, how many hexes away is that? 23 hexes. I don't know if they can make it due to the fact that they don't have. And this is a bloody issue. We are lacking supply here. If we had the supply here, we could have probably been able to use the drop tanks. Right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually save it. I want to find out if I can actually have them reach here. What's their pilot's experience? On board the CVLs or the others? Right, so pilot's experience is 78 to lowest at 61. And then the other squadron here, 74 to, well, yeah, some of these guys are rather poor. I could actually replace them, to be honest. Potentially so. Okay, we're saved here. I think what we'll do then is we'll take a look at how it would work if we have our zeros based here. I mean, obviously it would be far superior to have them based on land than to have them based at carriers. Now, the aviation support here isn't fantastic. I could move additional aviation support over here to a low star. I could even potentially have them move to Singora. Singora is currently able to handle additional aircraft. I also do have these A5M4s that are carrier capable, of course, but not yet, well, usable. I could have the squadron actually upgrade, but I'm not going to do that. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move them out from this area. I'm going to have them move. I'll have them move over here for the time being. I do want them to eventually upgrade into, obviously, the zeros, but I can't right now. But I'm going to free up that space over here at Singora. So what I could potentially do is actually split up our squadron so we can have some zeros land here, some zeros land at a low star, which will make some room. So let's give it a go then. What we're going to do then is take... So, Zuiho is the one with the least capacity, but the thing is we don't need a huge amount of capacity to handle them all. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Send, Singora... The thing with Singora is, well, actually no, we do have aviation support here at Singora, don't we? 47, which is sufficient. Okay, we'll send them from Zuiho. So transfer to base to Singora. And then we could potentially have the carriers move into Kotobaru. I could have the actual task force move into Kotobaru where they would then be relatively safe. Then we'll talk about that one. Okay, Zuiho is now empty, so what I'm going to do is actually take them over here. The Zuiho squadron will return. Though they can't right now. Transfer base. Right. So they can't actually reach it without the, well, we'll take a look over there then. 0 from here. I may still have to fly the zeros. I think what we may have to do then is fly our zeros from Sama over here to Saigon. I think I could keep them here. No, 27 landed at Singora. Looks like we have 28 pilots here. We might have potentially lost one here. But I think we had 20... No, we had 27 on board, didn't we? Okay, so they're going to run combat air patrol. We'll tell them to run long-range combat air patrol then. And cut to Baroon. Right, so the ones over here at Sama can't make it. So I think what we'll do then is we could potentially have them land over here and then potentially run long-range combat air patrol over here too. Let's see, what do we have here in terms of aviation space? Yeah, limited. Sock. Limited as well. From Saigon, obviously, they'd still have the range, but obviously the operational losses would be more severe. Assuming they could even make it to Saigon. Hang on a sec. It looks as though we're just like a hex out of range. Which is a real big shame. Right. So we'll land them in Saigon. As we can do. Right, they all made it. Fantastic. Okay, land in Saigon. Yep, they all make it. Right. Experience isn't amazing, but what we're going to do here then is actually have them stood down. We could replace the actual poor pilots, which we will do then. We're going to send them to the reserve. I'll see if I can find 4 additional pilots. Well, actually, 56 isn't terrible. I'll see what I have available first, and then we'll see what else we can do. So, fighter reserve is what I'm looking at. Thank you very much to Major for doing this for me, by the way. Okay. Right. Air skill. Yeah, I mean, he's a trainer. Okay, we'll have these men sent to the actual squadron of Zubiho. I'll send the 4th as well. Yeah, there'd be some of the best here. Actually, let's see here. I think we might need additional. How many pilots would that actually be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does it actually tell me anyone else? Ah, right, there we go. 21 pilots. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll move them back then afterwards. Or can I do it now? We'll send it back afterwards then, because they're currently in transit. But either or, we can have that one sorted out afterwards. Okay, so we'll have them use their drop tanks. So, escort. Now, they currently have very little fatigue. Look at the delay, right. Okay, is it 2-day delay then? Right, run over at Cotobrou. About 15,000. Oosh, that's gonna hurt. They're gonna run the 10 zeros, yeah, so they're down to 17 here, so they're not gonna fly with all 20, but that's fine, we'll suffer that. As obviously I don't have a bloody choice, do I? But oh well, that's my bloody fault. Then run combat air patrol here. So now the question is, what do we do then here? What do we do with the carriers? Obviously they're heading to Hiroshima at the moment, obviously I'll tell them to not do that. But where should we head to? Should we continue to head north to Singora? Okay. Yeah. So do I head north to Singora, or do I have our zeros unload at a low star? I mean, Force God zeros at low star, obviously with very little aviation support, wouldn't be the best. So probably a better idea to keep on the carriers for now. Or do we just go into port at Kota Baru? Or to protect our carriers then? Yeah. So my vote is to feed them to the Enterprise. I like it. I don't know, what do we think? I suppose this is a hard question. I think it might be worthwhile to head to Kota Baru because at the end of the day, he may try to predict our moves. We don't know how he's going to actually respond, but if we actually do make it a very difficult time for him by running this ASW... Yeah... I think it's one of these, if I do head to the north, then there's a potential that we might... I could go like that, but that's... I don't know, it's one of these, isn't it? I think we'll head to Kota Baru. We'll head to Kota Baru then. What I'll do then is have these guys over here. Right, you're actually heading out to merge with the cruisers. The other two that normally would be following are out here. Yeah. Heading to Kota Baru. I'll rebuild the unit here. Actually, no. Yeah, Dutch subs are very dangerous. Oh, we're heading to Kota Baru anyway, so what am I doing here? Set them to combat patrol. Over Kota Baru. Right. Exactly so. Okay, what I'm going to do then is actually detach some additional... I could detach additional destroyers. 16. I do have 12 here, this is the issue. What we'll do then is... See, what we have right now is we will have ASW forces from Kota Baru actually heading out here as we speak. What I'll do then is, let's see, if we have anything else, I will send it out. Right. So I do have these guys. They're not perfect, but fuck it. It's an additional ASW task force, so why the hell not? Patrol here. At Kota Baru. Yeah. Cannibalizing the baby. I don't know why that amuses me so. Right, 0. There we go. Yeah, so we have a hell of a patrol here. Of course, then we do have the aircraft as well, which are going to be running ASW over this area. I do have the B5N2 Kates over here as well. That's good to know. I think we have the float planes currently set to ASW2. No, but we'll do that. We'll actually run night patrols here. Allow that to continue. Or do I? Nah. Nah. Let's throw everything in, right? I could have these bad boys upgrade, but if we have sufficient supply. Right, there we go. Right. So when you say set their arcs search only the east, are we talking about like one there or? Well, sorry, what am I on about? On over here, isn't it? Sorry. We do have them all there. I do have some additional B5N2K, so I can search that. Oh, right, only here. Okay. What I'll do then is we'll go here. I'll take this squadron. How's that look? Right, we'll just change that over here. Almost there. I'd imagine that'd be about 80. Yeah, there we go. So they'll obviously cover this area only. Indeed, subs in the river. Right, I do have the additional B5N2Ks over here, so we could make use of them. What do we have here in terms of a aviation support at Kota? Right, Kota could actually potentially handle the B5N2s. I'll transfer one squadron, we'll see how we get on then. Right, how's Kotobaru looking? Oh yeah, I definitely can handle that. Actually, I'm looking at Blade Saigon here. I don't think we ever covered that one. But it depends on whether it's actually going to do or not. Then of course I think I may have this squadron fly from here actually downwards. Right, have you base here. This has really covered the actual cruisers for the most part. Right, there we go. Right, there we go. Those two dummy patrols you have a code to import, so then both patrol only the harbour, one with reaction. Okay, 0 reaction on the other one. Well, we have 4 of them actually. Okay, we'll set them up again. Okay, we'll have the best actually patrol code to Peru then just in case. Right, we'll have them set patrol with one reaction. Which side decided Dakota then? Right. I'll give them a reaction of 3. Yeah, which they're on. Actually, turn that down from full speeds, no need. I think he's going to find himself facing some rather heavy anti-submarine warfare in this area. I mean, can you imagine? Imagine if we actually do sink a submarine or 2 or 3. Fucking hell, if we manage to sink all of them, that'd be fucking... that'd be heavenly. But yeah, that'd be nice. Right, we have Natoro, who's ready to go as well. Okay, good, you've arrived over here. So we now have some additional ships to play with. I don't have much supply here at Cameron Bay, I definitely do need to increase that. You do have a good amount here. Potentially so. Potentially so. Right, you're just currently loading supplies here. I'm going to tell you to stop doing that. Where are these forces bound for? Right, the Philippines then. Right, expand the task force. Okay, so we do have the escort carriers over here as well. Now, how do we wish to use them is the question. While they're here, have them replenish at port. Now, I would like to hit down here at Brunei. What do you guys reckon then? Do we set up for hitting Brunei then? What ships I've repaired in Saigon? We'll take a look now then. So Sazuya is under repair here. I know, right? We still, I mean, we did bomb Manila, but we didn't, well, yeah, we did bomb Manila port. It's just we didn't use Kiributai. We did get like 3 of them, so. Still something. Yeah, just PS side. Oh well. At least should be ready in a couple of days. Yeah, I think we'll send an invasion down here then. Asagiri. Yeah, she's actually a very nice ship. Yeah, we're planning for Brunei, we just obviously needed to get the men here. Okay. So we'll bring Natoro, well, Notori. I could bring, well, we have a tender here, I'd imagine, in the force. Yeah, we do. Okay. We'll hit, Miri. Fair enough. They'll not be ready yet, Carl. I think it was about a month, so we'll probably see them in January. $15,000 feet. Right, there we go. Only the one float plane, bloody hell. He's got his work cut out for him then, hasn't he, the poor bastard? Okay, you need to dock and obviously go into repair. That's the Giri could be sent. Right, that was 317. Merge. Okay. We'll set the troops up to obviously plan then. At least we'll have aviation engineers as well to make use of. We'll check what mode they're loaded on as well. But we'll make good progress here. Might have been worth it to keep it on Brunei, actually. Oh well. At least this will give us another base then to operate from. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to always do it on the ship, so I just do it like that, just make sure they're all set up. Okay, what mode are they in, actually? I think they're in combat mode. Yeah, that's good news then. Yeah, it would be nice. I think had we struck here earlier, we would have actually had some more success in Mersing, but oh well. So on so forth. And we're still holding on here at Mersing. I don't know if he'll commit to battle again, but we'll see. I mean, eventually we will have enough supply, well, enough support in this area for us to actually then begin to launch our bomber raids here to knock out Singapore's airbase. What I want to do is actually command the seas here. If I could command the seas, I'd like to actually move the Imperial Division down here, but if not, we'll capture these bases and then move down via rail. Yep, they're heading south as we speak. Making progress. Okay, I'll just have you actually run reconnaissance then, over Georgetown. $15,000 feet. 15? Yeah. They've taken some losses. Obviously, I just need to reform that squadron. But I'll put them on 80-20. Right, the 1Bs. I'm actually going to have them run at 10,000 feet. Okay, I think that's Malaya done here. Obviously we're unloading over here. We'll soon have the 33rd Division. Shouldn't be too long until they're unloaded completely now. Yeah. Let's see. I'd say the vast majority. So we'll assume that most of that is the division, so there's just over 2,000 troops to unload. We do have another division on its way as we speak right now. The 4th Division is coming in here. I'm actually going to set them to full speed, to be honest. It's far too dangerous. Layered combat patrol is what we want. Okay, fair enough. I'll set V0s then. Actually, I'll... Okay, 0's high. That's fine by me. These are... Which ones are these? These are the 1As. Ish. Yeah. If he hits Cotobrou, he is gonna... Well... he'll regret it. The good news is, we did burn a lot of his bombers, well, last turn, so ideally we burn some more. I do wonder if he's actually going to try and run the Prince of Wales reports from Singapore. I still assume they're in there. I've seen no evidence contrary to that, so I assume they're still here. And of course, we do have a house rule in Fed, but I can't move into Straits of Malacca. But we are still covered in this area to the north, so there's always a possibility that we'll pick them up irregardless. Well, regardless. Not irregardless, fuck it, irregardless. Okay. Now China. They will fly. How many planes do you have in pool? I'll check in just a mo. 50% combat average potentially. We won't have many zeros. I think we maybe have 4 or 5 in the pool at the moment. But we do have a couple days, so we should be able to make that up. Okay, they're going to hit Chengchao. So what I'll do then is actually tell them, yeah, 30% combat average roll, and then, yeah, that should be good. Running 15,000 feet here, so our 4 to 6 maneuverability. The 1Cs will actually make their debut over here. I'll run the Nates maybe down at 10,000 feet. No, actually, fuck it, 15. Pilots. No, this is a training squadron, never mind. Not worth, is it? Might as well have the pilots there. Right, we'll check our pool then. Let's see. Yeah, currently 4 in the pool at the moment. We'll see more arrive rather shortly. Aye. Okay. Now the question is, what else do we need? I think Black Star did ask me to actually convert some of the R&D. So let's take a look. We do need to take a look at patrol boat conversions as well. But yeah, let's assume that, I think our current production rate, I mean, we can check it after the turn. I think it's somewhere in the region of 2 a day. So we might have, yeah, we may have somewhere in the region of 6, maybe 8 zeros potentially. Something in that region, but any additional zeros is better than nothing. Yeah, something like 2 planes a day. Right, trying to find this which Black Star sent me. Somewhere here. Just trying to find it now. I'm just looking through the Discord at the moment. Right, don't forget to swap the 2 Oscar R&D factories to the Tojo, so that you can get the Ki-44 to Cs in early 43. Okay, we'll do that. Almost missed it. So this would be these guys. Now we did have a conversation, basically she did say, would you rather have more Tojos, or would you rather have a more advanced Tojo later? And I went with the more advanced. Possibly. Possibly. Right. The dojo. Okay, there we go. Okay. At least then this will save the exits and twos for the most part. I mean, I do have these zeros are basically under repair at the moment. Once they're repaired, they'll be sent over. Okay. So I think that really does comprise the vast majority of the turn there. Very much looking forward to seeing our landing over here. I do not know if he knows about it. Okay. I'm half tempted to actually send these patrol boats actually over here. I do not think it would be the worst idea. Right. Okay. What I'm going to do then is actually send an additional 3 destroyers. Yep, head out and meet them. Right, when they do near the Philippines, what I'm going to do then is have the Ki-32s, the Ki-27s run escort over them. We'll be able to run it from the bases over here. I think that would definitely be the best move. What do I have here? I have the SLF and the Kimura detachment. I just need my Ura detachment to make it. Okay, low threat threshold. Right. How does that look if we head direct? Okay. I just think we need to take advantage of the fact that he's distracted by forces elsewhere. So we'll have additional forces here. Let's see what we have in terms of patrol boats. Fuck, they have very little, and there's no fuel here. So they actually do need to head to, well, they need to head back and resupply, to be honest. So you're going to head over here to Takao to actually resupply. You have... yeah, enough. I'm just going to send what I can here. It's definitely worthwhile. Merge. We have additional destroyers over here. Okay, disband the task force for the moment. You're still unloading. So I have an additional 2 destroyers here. Head out there. Merge. There we go. So, in reality then, we'll have 2 destroyers, 5 destroyers, patrol boat. So that's going to be an additional 6 escorts, and we already have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 destroyers, 2 patrol boats, AMC, 3 cruiser mine layers. Yeah, but the more the merrier, to be honest. I mean, we are carrying a division here. This is a very, very valuable cargo that we have. Kawa is actually taking some damage there. Fairly heavy, too. You may not like heading at top speed. What's the difference at top speed? Well, 3 knots. Well, 3 hexes. You are carrying troops as well, so we'll head here at mission speed. It's irritating, but it is worthwhile. I don't want to exacerbate the actual flotation issues there, as you are carrying troops. Yeah, 1,200 of them and 16 guns, so definitely not worth that. Okay, that's going to work out nicely. They should make it. We'll have, what, 11 destroyers there? That's a lot of escorts. Okay. Yeah, didn't they actually collide, didn't they? They collided. Yeah, collision. I think it was the Argentina Maru. I think she caused it, yep. Argentina Maru collided. Shame, really. Otherwise, we would have been able to make full speed with no issues. That could potentially cost us 1,200 men. I do have a regiment over here, but I do need to move. You're not static, are you? No, you're not static. You don't seem to be part of anything, either. Interesting. Right, then. Wow, we are really closing in here. 46, yep, still. I was hoping that would actually bloody here, but I guess we're heading down south. Okay. Yep, keep marching. Our forces are going to move now. Doesn't look as though we've actually issued our movement orders here. So head north. No, I don't think I've actually taken a look over here, have I? No, I haven't. Okay. Now, I do have these forces over here. What I'm going to do then... It's bloody annoying that they've done this. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to send to the north this detachment, so C detachment. This force over here is actually going to head out and destroy them on the line. There we go. They're heading to Suchao anyway. So that base force at Anking would actually be far better at Hankow. So I think what we will do then with the riverine transports, once they move back down towards Anking, they'll pick up the base force. Right, 3rd Division has just arrived. So if he was thinking about attacking Nanchang, he's going to find, yeah, something else waiting for him. Which does make me wonder, should we actually head out here to attack them? I could potentially even move towards Changsha. Or we could move towards Kanishin, however the hell you pronounce it. Thunderstorms currently. I'm going to say for the time being, we'll put them on rest. I need more information first. We are building up our fortifications. The good news is, with the division here, that will increase it. Yeah, you take a look at that. That's a lot of assault value here. A hell of a lot. Actually, no, I could move the 3rd out without much worry. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot. Okay, how do we wish to use them? We could move over here. We see 6 enemy units. It would be good to destroy them in... Loyang. Fuck Loyang. We'll find out what we're dealing with here. So what I'm going to actually do then... Yeah. I'm going to head to this troop concentration to destroy that. If I preempt what he's doing here, then we do throw a major, well, bone here. Seems the 22nd could be rebuilt. Or if it's just going to take some time. I may be able to rebuild them next turn. But we did inflict grievous losses over here on him. We'll move in here. The 34th did obviously hurt, but they will survive. It's an issue that we lost all these supplies here, but we have brought up fresh supplies to Hankow. Fresh supplies have landed in Shanghai. I think Canton has, in fact, been cleared of mines. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's still some mines here. So I'll leave them an additional turn. First take Kukong to cut off supply lines, yeah. Let's see. You're moving towards Kukong. Yep, so we have both forces moving to Kukong, we have forces moving to Wushao as well. Okay, these forces are moving now. They'll arrive pretty quickly as well. So what do you reckon? Do we go with a deliberate attack or do we go with a shock attack here? We did defeat them, didn't we? So I really do need to know, do we go deliberate or do we go shock attack and absolutely annihilate them? Yeah, the Battle of Chang. It's a shame. But it was a long-fought battle. We did take Midway, so that was nice. Yeah, here we go. 815. I think we could potentially shock. But I'll wait for the opinions here. What do we reckon? I think we could potentially get away with a shock attack, to be honest. I think that could potentially destroy the remaining forces there. And they did take over 5,000 casualties. I think it might be worthwhile to shock. I think we'll shock. Unfortunately, with our house rules, I can't take any troops out of China. We have to defeat China to do that first. Shock. Tenno Haika Banzai. What was the question? I'm getting some tea. The question was basically, do we shock attack here? But yeah, that's pretty much a green. I was feeling though we could shock attack, but we'll definitely do that. 2 of the units retreated, but there's still forces here. Still 8,000 men here, so let's annihilate them. This'll be fun to watch. It'll be painful for him to see as well. But yes, we do have tanks here. Motorized as well, which is quite interesting. But if you take a look, we do have 12,289 frontline troops, 16,448 second line troops, 436 vehicles. Obviously tanks, trucks, stuff like that, a lot of tanks, potentially armoured cars there, and then 224 pieces of artillery. He will have them respawn in time, but yeah, these troops won't be able to then aid at Chengchao. We'll annihilate them here. The thing is, I could then tell them to begin marching. I'll wait for our forces to arrive here. They should only be like a turn away. We'll see what the damage is, and then we'll go from there. The terrain here is rough, though we do have fairly good road density, so ideally we'll be able to make good speed there. Reconnaissance regiments are they armoured cars? We'll take a look. We have tankettes and light tanks. So basically armoured cars for the most part. Type 95 light tanks, Type 89A medium tanks, Type 97 medium tanks, Type 95 light tanks, Type 97 tankettes, motorized support, and then motorized. Right, you're moving. See, the thing is, I do need to be very careful of what is leaving Manchuria right now, because we are so very close here, and I do not want to activate the Soviets. Yeah, we've got forces on the way to Wenchao. I'm actually kind of worried about sending this armor. Yeah, you stay here, Sunshine. We can't afford to have you move out. Yeah, I know, right? If we activated the Soviets, that would be game over. What I can do here is just go to their command of the 20th Army. So the Kwantung Army. Actually. Ah, there we go. Units with the same headquarters. Right, so you're already at Anyang. So that's only showing 5th Army. I was hoping it would show the rest. Right, you stay put. We can't really risk much else, if anything. We do have a little bit of leeway, but yeah, we really have to be careful. Yeah, 200. I don't think we have anything else leaving Manchuria, barring the armor over here. Hmm. I don't know. Right, they're not moving. Neither you. Okay. I think we're good on that. So we do have the bombing operation then to go ahead just north of Kaifeng. Well, basically over, was it Qingchao? Right, that's good news. Okay. Of course, it's not guaranteed they will activate. But, yeah. We'll want to have that above 8,000, ideally. But I think with that, we do have basically everything of the turn done. I don't think there's anything we've missed here. If you guys obviously want to let me know if you think I missed anything, that'd be great. But I think we're good. These guys are moving. Yep, that's what we need. We have our forces moving over here to a low star. These forces moving down south. The armor's moving down south. We're flying supplies here to a low star as well. But we do have a nice amount already. That's good news. Obviously, we want more. I may build the actual airfield here. Probably not a bad idea. Will come in handy in the future. Right. So we aren't running torpedo bombers down here, as we're focusing on the SW duties here. But, we'll see what happens. We do have some marines in place. And should, I don't know, let's say, for example, should Prince of Wales and Repulse get out, then yeah, fair enough. We'll just find them later. We have bigger fish to fry at the moment. I'm sure we'll be able to pick them up. I don't see any issues with that. As of course, if they do leave this turn, I don't know. I don't know if you'd risk it. Right, what we'll do then is just double check this. A5 M4 Claudes. Okay, so none of the zeros will take any replenishment. God, can you imagine? Oh, boy, that would have been great. Yeah, it's just not worth it, in my opinion, for us to continue flying torpedo bombers over here. We did take some damage. I think we need to clear this area first and foremost. At the end of the day, we need that operational freedom. The Malaya campaign, well, the writing is really on the wall here. All it is now is obviously closing in. We did try the Mercen Gambit, but due to our inexperience, that did unfortunately backfire on us. I did see the battleship Haruna lost, but we did inflict great damage on Repulse and Prince of Wales. Ah, both rotated back to Europe in 42, that's interesting. So even if they survive, they'll be out of the theatre in some time anyway. So that's not too bad. Okay, I think with that, we are pretty much ready to go. I think we do have a lot going on here. Right, you keep bloody getting in trouble, don't you? Oh, they did land a hit on the destroyer last time, didn't they? I loved it. That was amazing. Okay, I'm glad that we took Midway. That has freed up some pressure here. But yeah, I think we have so very much in go here. Operations will begin now in the Dutch East Indies. At least on Borneo. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is it. I've learned so very much since starting the actual play by email. I'm still learning now. So, I think another 10 turns, another 20 turns, another 30 turns. It's just the experience is going to be so much different. But the good thing about that is once I do feel competent with the game, I'd be more than happy to do a series of tutorials for new players. Obviously, I'd rather reach that point. But I think, well, this is it. The reason why I do my version of the campaign in this format, obviously the ridiculously long streams, and basically where you see everything, every fort, is at the end of the day, you see me learn, and then obviously new players learn at the same time, and this is it. We've all learned something I'd imagine so far together. And I love this interaction. I think it's fantastic. I love the ups and downs that we've had. So we've had our ups, we've had our downs. But let's hope that in the future we may have honestly a Battle of the Coral Sea scenario. Because it very well could happen should THG actually send carriers to Fiji. Well, bloody hell. It could allow us to actually annihilate the US carrier fleet in 41-42, basically one fell swoop. And can you just imagine the freedom that we'd have then? The amount of consolidation we'd be able to pull off would be incredible. And that's what we want to do. We are aiming for the victory points here. That's the victory I want to win. So we do have to be bold. I mean, Midway, rather worthless island, but at least it, it denies them a base. We can use it in the future, perhaps. But yeah, there's a lot of victory points over here. A lot of them. Oh dear. There's a lot of victory points to be gained over this way too. Yeah, I'll look at the documentary. Sounds really interesting. I'm looking forward to our moves over here in South China. The thing is, his time's numbered here. I mean, these forces are basically screwed. They have, well, we have 2 divisions here. There's a 3rd division here. I did like this move. I mean, we crossed the river over here, then we marched south. That worked out really well for us, to be honest. We'll just hunt down his forces. I mean, once we take Chushian and clean up the actual forces in this area, we'll then march on Wenchao. Once Wenchao and Chushian has fallen, we'll clean up what remains here in South China, and yeah. He's going to find Kukong under threat with infantry and artillery. Wuchao will fall soon. Well, this is it. Midway, excuse me. Midway has definitely taken some of a backbone in this campaign. Now, we did initially strike out, rather than take Makin, because why the fuck would I take Makin? We took Canton Island, where we did destroy a US engineer squad. Well, basically, unit anyway. We've currently landed over here at Survive as of last turn. So ideally we do take Survive this turn. These are the forces that actually did take Canton as well. Initially intended for Makin. But they have landed here. So we do have the potential for a battle here. Because at the end of the day, we're a couple days out from having forces at Suva. And the thing is, if we take this, if we take Fiji... That'd be a crazy, crazy thing. But that would allow us to actually have a full defensive network here. We do need to then take a look at actually taking something of the Aleutian Isles to just really complete that. But Suva, so basically Fiji. Should we hold on to Canton, Midway? I mean, I'd like to take Johnson, but I think Johnson's just too far out there. I think that one's too audacious. Considering its proximity to Pearl Harbor is only 19 hexes, it's probably too ambitious. He would have bombers that would eventually be able to reach there. And yeah, he'd annihilate whatever was there. But it might be something that we do push. It might be worth it to push it just to deny him islands. I mean, I dream of the day that potentially we could think of attacking Pearl Harbor, but that is going to need a successful 41 and a successful 42 overall. And that is going to need a very successful 42. Now, of course, we do have our APDs that are being repaired over here. Well, converted, I should say. Yep, the Minakaze class has been overhauled pretty much for the most part to the APD variants, where, of course, in 42, rather late in 42, they will then upgrade to have a Type 13 radar. Has Victory Disease already set in? Oh, far from it. Far, far from it. It would be nice. I would feel a hell of a lot more confident should we defeat carriers at Fiji, assuming there's going to be a carrier battle. I have no idea if there's going to be a carrier battle, this is a thing. But if we expect carriers and prepare for carriers, then we can't really go wrong. I mean, the ground cover force is fairly good strength there, so we have Nagato, Mutsu, we have Aoba, Kinugasa, well, Kinugasa, Furutaka, and Kakao. So we have 4 heavy cruisers over here, 2 battleships, additional light cruisers. We of course then have a small escort force over here comprised of 2 old-fashioned light cruisers, a little destroyer. I might take a destroyer out and actually send it to the Guam cover force, but fuck it. It's there for the time being, we'll keep it there for the time being. We do have additional forces converging on Kwajalein Island, how the fuck you pronounce that. Kiribati, a couple days away. They'll arrive here, so that'll be an additional 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers. We'll have additional 3 light cruisers. We do have 2 light cruisers over here, and then 3 destroyers. Yeah, we are building up in our force. We do have over here a seaplane carrier, which is over here, yep. We have 2 destroyed minesweepers and a oiler moving down to the center with 2,000 units of fuel. We do have the seaplane carrier and a heavy cruiser, which would be fantastic if we actually do manage to get them here in time. That would actually give us additional float planes, so that's either additional reconnaissance or even additional bloody ASW. You know what it would mean? If you lose his 3 of his carriers so early, you have free range at the end of 42 to do whatever you want. Fuck it, we'll invade Alaska. No, I mean, that'd be crazy. Absolutely crazy. But until it happens, yeah, we can't count on it. I mean, this is it, isn't it? It's like, if we don't lose any carriers, assuming the battle goes perfectly well, we'll destroy all these carriers. We have the Yunyo class that's been accelerated, which we'll see in April 42, June 42, something of that nature. So that's going to be an additional 2 fleet carriers. We have additional light carriers to come, escort carriers to come. So the thing is, we could end up with something in the region of, what, like 10 fleet carriers, something like that, in 42. Obviously then we'll have Yamato and Musashi, so we'll have 2 super heavy battleships. I think they're going to be rather interesting. Now, I did have some ships actually arrive down here, didn't I? I did. Sure I did. We'll check on the operations report, actually. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Yep, so 36 days we'll have Shoho. 20th of April, 42 we'll have Yunyo. 18th of July, 42 we'll have Hiyo. Do we have both of those arrive? Ryuho, which has also been accelerated. So yeah, we'll have an additional... That must be the Yunyo class. Yeah, it is, okay. So we'll have 2 fleet carriers arrive in 42, rather early 42, or at least earlier 42. Another light carrier. Then in November, we'll see another light carrier. 43. Well, nothing in 43, so really this is it in terms of actual carriers. Of course, what we'll have to do is convert our seaplane carriers, assuming they all do survive, into additional light carriers. So we have Mizuho. Yes. I could convert her next year. So I'll make a 3rd light carrier. And then assuming the other seaplane carrier, well, yeah, seaplane carrier survives, there'll be a 4th light carrier. We just really need to build up our actual strength. Of course, with Black Star's R&D plan and industrial plan, of course, helped out by Lupus Major, just basically everybody's contributed to this in some degree. Yeah, if we don't lose any carriers, kind of sound like say, Yamamoto notified Midway war game results while the Kitabutai took losses, then declared the plan was perfect. I mean, this is it. That would be the perfect example. And that one is never going to happen. It's just never going to happen, is it? But it would be perfect. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this is it. I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. We'll just have to hope for the best. The good news is the KI-43 program is really kicking into gear. We'll see more Oscars out there. And then, yeah, I can't wait until we actually see the R&D really take place. Of course, we'll have the Zero swap soon. A couple months. We'll have Tojos come in rather soon as well, especially with additional R&D facilities on it as well. So once that gets going, then we'll definitely see a good amount of Tojos in the air, which will actually help make up the numbers in the meantime. At least of more heavily armed army aircraft. Yeah. Ultimately, we are aiming for the KI-84A. We are seeing some progress over here, which is nice. I mean, every little bit of point of progress will inevitably mean days, weeks shaved, ideally. But there we go. So, I think we are good here. Oh yeah, Yard's going to hit us hard at some point. He has infinite resources, and he has us pretty much surrounded. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. We've no idea how the Dutch East Indies could go. We'll take it day by day. There's no way else we can take it. We can dream about the future, but we need to make sure the present actually lines up with that. So let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make it bloody well happen. Love this game. Love this series. And I love seeing you guys. And girls, of course. We do have a few female viewers, which is really, really awesome. I think it's prudent to solidify the non-front line supporting bases in early 42. Eventually it gets very difficult to find sufficient land units and support units to do so. Yep, definitely. The idea here, assuming the Fiji does go successfully, and we do have a relatively open window to fortify, we will definitely do that. The Philippines is not dead yet. We are closing on them. We do have our forces moving in here. We have a division currently unloading here. We have a second division moving in here. I should actually be able to reform maybe a division or two on the actual island as well, so best case scenarios, we might see about 3 or 4 divisions there on the Philippines. The American forces have ran to Bataan, which fine, yeah, they can starve at Bataan, but means nothing to me. It looks like it's actually relatively bare ground, well, bare, which actually does make me wonder. I'm going to take the 9th, potentially, but then again, they're already halfway there, aren't they? Otherwise, they would have taken them and sent them to Malban. But if there's no forces there, we'll automatically take the base anyway. So yeah, we'll keep them together. But yeah, best case scenario, we'll see a couple of units actually reform into divisions, and then obviously we'll secure the southern Philippine Islands. We'll have our Brunei operation kick off rather soon. Feels like a lot is happening, really. Definitely increasing. But yeah, I think we'll call it here. So, there we go, we'll just save a turn. I don't think there's anything else that we've missed. So yeah, generally going to be awesome. Put it about there. Ooh. What do we call it? What do we call it? Okay. I assume I spelled Damocles right there, so hopefully I don't look like an idiot, so we'll call that the Sword of Damocles. And what I mean by that is basically, ideally we will be the ones hanging the sword over his head rather than our own in form of the carrier force at Fiji. But it's going to be a couple days before we really see that battle kick off. But the groundwork is weeks in the making. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I do hope you have enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed this, please do consider actually supporting myself and the channel. It really does make a massive difference. Definitely allows me to do this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a hobby right now, but it would be amazing to make this something more. And you know what, I do love speaking to you guys. So that's enough of my e-begging. I do hope you, ladies and gentlemen, have a awesome evening or day. And until next time, goodbye for now.